Is the untouchable empire of the Carters actually crumbling from the inside out? You heard it here first, because Uncle Pluto is finally opening the vault, and what he's spilling is absolutely radioactive. We all thought that infamous, icy-cold interaction at the Rock Nation brunch was just a standard industry hello. But what if I told you that the music industry's biggest player, Future, is now claiming that if the internet hadn't been watching like a hawk, history would have been rewritten that day? Are we looking at the ultimate betrayal of the Queen herself? The streets are buzzing, and the whispers are getting louder. Did Lori Harvey actually try to secure the throne, only to get blocked by the Beehive's legendary security protocols? People keep asking why this is coming out now, and why Future, the man who can hold a grudge longer than a prison sentence, is the one pulling the curtain back. Is this just his signature petty style? Or does he know something that could shatter everything we know about high-profile celebrity marriages? Grab your popcorn and buckle up, because we are diving deep into the messy, scandalous, and completely unhinged reality behind that legendary brunch encounter. Was it a harmless smile? Or was it the start of a Becky with the good hair 2.0 disaster? You're not going to believe what the tea is on this one. Let's get into it. To understand the magnitude of this alleged revelation, we first have to strip away the glitz of the red carpet and look at the actual players involved in this messy web of ego, status, and power. At the center of this storm, we have the undisputed heavyweight of the rap game, Jay-Z, a man whose public image is built on billionaire status and the ironclad stability of his marriage to Beyonce. On the other side, we have Lori Harvey, a woman who has become a permanent fixture in the entertainment industry, not just for her high-profile romances, but for her undeniable ability to command the attention of the world's most powerful men. When you look at the track record of these two, it is easy to see why the public immediately jumped to conclusions the moment they saw that interaction at the 2019 Rock Nation brunch. People have been obsessed with dissecting Lori Harvey's dating life for years, creating a narrative that paints her as a calculated operator who targets the elite. Whether it is Michael B. Jordan, P. Diddy, Trey Songz, or any of the other high-net-worth individuals she has been linked to, the public has always been quick to label her every move as part of some grand scheme to climb the social ladder. When that video of her smiling at Jay-Z went viral, it wasn't just a clip of two people laughing. It was treated like a declaration of war against the most protected relationship in music history. The Beehive didn't waste a second. They swarmed her comments with bee emojis, effectively turning her social media into a battlefield. It was a clear warning that there are certain lines you do not cross, and Jay-Z is considered the ultimate forbidden territory. But why was the reaction so violent? It wasn't just because Jay-Z is famous, it was because of the optics. Lori looked far too comfortable, far too confident, and the cameras captured a level of familiarity that the public simply refused to accept. It fed directly into the existing, ugly rumors that have followed Lori for years. Rumors that suggest she treats these high-profile relationships like a game of musical chairs. The pressure began to mount immediately. It is said that at that specific event, the tension in the air was palpable, almost as if everyone in the room knew exactly what was happening. People were whispering, cameras were zooming in, and the scrutiny was intense. For a young woman like Lori, the intensity of the backlash should have been terrifying, but instead, she leaned into it. Or at least that is what the internet believed. When she posted on the Shade Room laughing off the drama by calling herself a part of the Beehive, it only made things worse. Instead of de-escalating the situation, it made her appear like she was mocking the very people who were coming for her head. It was this specific blend of confidence and perceived audacity that kept the story alive long after the brunch ended. To make matters even more complicated, we have to look at the legendary, albeit troubled, history of Jay-Z himself. This is a man who turned his own marital infidelity into a masterpiece of an album with 444. He has admitted to his mistakes, and the world has forgiven him, but that doesn't mean the ghost of his past doesn't haunt the headlines every time a pretty face is seen near him. The public knows that Jay-Z is not the innocent bystander he often portrays in his public appearances. He has been linked to countless women throughout his career, and every time a new name pops up, the internet goes into a frenzy of investigation. Lori Harvey was just the latest entry in a long list of women that fans were ready to label as a potential threat to the Carters. This environment of constant suspicion is what allowed this story to catch fire in the first place. You have a public that is starving for gossip, a star-studded event that provided the perfect visual, and a long list of historical precedents that make cheating rumors believable. It was the perfect storm of cultural obsession, and even years later, the embers of this scandal are still being fanned by people who refuse to let the past stay buried. But what changed the narrative from a simple celebrity encounter to a genuine scandal was the entrance of the one person who has no filter, and a history of making things personal. Enter Future. If there is one person in the industry who knows how to weaponize a rumor, it is him. He has never been one to shy away from being petty, especially when it comes to his past relationships. His history with Lori Harvey was brief but intense, and the fallout was anything but quiet. When he started throwing shots at her in his music, he didn't just target her. He went after her family, her new partners, and her reputation. The lines he dropped in his verses were not just insults. They were designed to dismantle the polished image she had worked so hard to build. The fact that Future is now allegedly hinting at what happened between Lori and Jay-Z is a massive escalation. It suggests that this isn't just about his own heartbreak. It is about his desire to expose the truth, or at least what he claims is the truth. He is painting a picture where Lori's interaction at that brunch was not just a passing moment, but a missed opportunity that would have changed everything if the public hadn't intervened. This perspective changes the entire game. If we believe what is being whispered behind closed doors, then that brunch wasn't a random event. It was a pivot point. It implies that there was a level of intent there that the public was lucky to catch before it developed into something much more damaging. The intensity of this narrative is fueled by the idea that we, the public, are the reason certain scandals never happen. It gives the audience a sense of power, a sense that by watching these celebrities, we are actually influencing their lives and keeping them in check. And that is exactly what makes this kind of story so addictive. As we move forward into how this situation really escalated, you have to realize that this isn't just about a smile or a laugh. It is about a calculated reputation that was being built and, in the eyes of some, was about to be burned to the ground. The more we dig, the more it becomes clear that the truth, if it even exists in this circus of fame, is buried under layers of ego and public expectation. It is a game of smoke and mirrors, where everyone involved has something to gain or lose by keeping the story alive. The question is, how much of this is real? And how much of it is just the byproduct of a culture that demands constant entertainment at the expense of privacy? We are about to look deeper into the leaks and the reports that turned this from a brunch rumor into a full-blown saga. When you hear about these alleged reports and leaked information, you have to remember that in the world of high-level entertainment, information is currency. People are not just talking to be heard, they are talking to position themselves, to take down rivals, or to craft a narrative that suits their own agenda. The rumors that started circulating about Lori Harvey and Jay-Z after that brunch didn't just come from fans on Twitter. They were bolstered by sources who claimed to have the inside track on what was really going on in those high-profile circles. One of the most persistent and damaging claims that emerged was the idea of a blind item that circulated shortly after the event. According to this report, Lori Harvey didn't just want to be seen with Jay-Z. She was actively trying to make the connection permanent. The implication was that she was playing a long game, targeting the most powerful men in the industry to secure her place at the top. This report painted a picture of a woman who was perfectly willing to navigate the complicated waters of elite marriages if it meant getting what she wanted. It suggested that she wasn't just naive or looking for a conversation. She was looking for a leverage point. When the Beehive caught wind of the situation, the response was, according to these sources, swift and unforgiving. We heard reports that after the brunch, Lori was effectively frozen out of the inner circle. She was no longer welcomed at elite gatherings where she might come face to face with the Carters. It was a cold, calculated move to mark territory and ensure that the boundaries remained firm. The idea that someone like Jay-Z could be blocked or that a young socialite could be blacklisted adds a level of intrigue that sounds like something out of a thriller movie. But then we have to consider the role of the other men in her life during this period. The narrative of her dating history often gets brought up to discredit her character, as if her personal choices are evidence of some deeper, more sinister pattern. We see her moving from one famous name to another, and the public interprets this as a lack of loyalty or a calculated strategy. Take the Diddy situation, for instance. That was arguably the most controversial period in her public life. The age gap alone was enough to raise eyebrows, but the fact that she had previously called Diddy's late partner, Kim Porter, her mother, made the entire thing feel deeply personal and uncomfortable for the public. It wasn't just a regular romance. It was a perceived betrayal of social norms that left people genuinely disgusted. When you combine that history with the rumors about her relationship with Trey Songz, or the whispers that she was seeing multiple people at once, it becomes easy for the public to build a case against her. It is as if they are looking for a reason to justify why she isn't welcome in certain elite spaces. Every rumor, whether proven or not, is used as a brick in the wall that the public is building around her to keep her away from people like Jay-Z. The blind items even went as far as to suggest that her move to date Diddy in the summer of 2019 was a direct pivot after being blocked by the Jay-Z circle. It suggests that she was searching for the next best thing, a man with enough power and status to maintain her position in the spotlight. This narrative of a woman who is constantly searching for her next move is exactly what fuels the fires of the internet. And don't forget the allegations that she was involved with Diddy's son, Justin Combs, before dating Diddy himself. These stories circulate with such regularity that they become treated as facts, regardless of whether there is any concrete evidence to support them. It creates a cycle of gossip where the truth doesn't really matter. What matters is the story that gets the most clicks and the most outrage. The public reaction to all of this has been nothing short of explosive. You have people who are genuinely protective of the Carters, seeing any woman who approaches Jay-Z as a threat. Then you have the skeptics who think the whole thing is overblown, and that the industry is just full of people who are bored and looking for something to talk about. But it's the combination of these things that creates the volatility. When you have a figure like Future, who is known for being toxic and petty, coming out and fanning these flames, it gives the public permission to believe the absolute worst. If he is saying that something would have gone down, then it must be true, right? That is the logic that is currently dominating the narrative. We are seeing a situation where an unverified claim by a scorned ex-partner is being treated as the definitive truth. It's a dangerous game, but it is one that keeps the entertainment industry afloat. The reality, however, is much harder to pin down. Was there ever a secret attempt to take Jay-Z away? Or was this just a group of people at a party, interacting in the same way they always do, but seen through the lens of a public that is obsessed with drama? The reports of abuse of power within these circles are also rampant. We hear about how these elite figures control the narrative, how they can destroy careers with a single phone call, and how they protect their own at all costs. This makes the idea of Lori Harvey being blacklisted seem entirely plausible to the average fan. It fits into the story we tell ourselves about the rich and famous, that they are untouchable, that they play by a different set of rules, and that they will do anything to maintain their grip on power. But the more we look at the facts, the more we see that this is a story built on speculation, jealousy, and the relentless hunger of a public that loves a good takedown. Whether or not these rumors have any basis in reality, the impact they have had on the reputations of everyone involved is undeniable. We are watching a case study in how a narrative is formed and how it spreads, and we are not even close to the end of it. As we continue to dissect this, we have to look at the potential fallout, because these kinds of rumors do not just disappear. They follow people, they affect opportunities, and they can potentially lead to much bigger consequences than just a few mean comments on the internet. We are moving into a space where the stakes are getting higher, and the players are starting to look at each other differently. The threat of legal action, the potential for industry-wide probes into how these celebrities operate, and the constant threat of public backlash are all part of the current reality. Everyone is watching, and everyone is waiting to see who will be the next one to step out of line and fall victim to the machine. The fallout of this narrative goes far beyond just a few viral tweets or an angry comment section. When you analyze the dynamics of the entertainment industry, you realize that reputations are essentially the most valuable currency anyone has. Once that currency is devalued by these kinds of scandalous associations, the consequences are swift and often permanent. We are talking about potential industry-wide shunning, blocked opportunities, and a level of scrutiny that would make anyone, no matter how famous, want to hide from the spotlight. The idea that there might be a shadow industry of gatekeepers protecting the interests of the elites is not just a fantasy. It is a widely held belief among those who track the power moves in Hollywood and the music world. If the rumors are true and there really was a coordinated effort to keep Lori Harvey away from the top tier of married elites, it speaks to an immense level of influence. This is not just about a socialite being awkward at a brunch. It is about the structural power that keeps the hierarchy of fame intact. Consider the hypothetical, yet increasingly discussed, possibility of legal or professional consequences. In an industry where NDAs are as common as oxygen and the legal teams are more powerful than some small nations, a breach of decorum or a perceived threat to a billionaire's brand is taken very seriously. If the narrative continues to be that Lori Harvey was testing boundaries with Jay-Z, it is not unreasonable to imagine that there were private warnings issued. When you hear about these elite parties, you have to realize that there is a code of conduct. You do not just show up, look incredible, and try to make a move on someone who is effectively royalty in the culture. If you do, you are making yourself a target. And if the rumors are correct, Lori found out exactly what happens when you become a target. She didn't just get a few mean comments. She allegedly found herself on the outside looking in, blocked from the inner circle of the people who hold the keys to long-term industry success. This brings us back to Future. His involvement is not accidental. By choosing to speak on this, even in the cryptic and petty way that he does, he is pulling the curtain back on a world that is usually kept strictly behind closed doors. He is saying that he knows how the game is played, and he is trying to warn the world, or perhaps just settle a score, by revealing that this wasn't just a random interaction. He is suggesting a level of calculation that, if proven true, would be career-ending for anyone else. The public backlash has been intense because it taps into a deep-seated resentment toward the untouchable nature of celebrity culture. People are tired of seeing the rich do whatever they want with no repercussions. When they see a situation like this, they use it as a way to project their own desires for justice. They want to see the hierarchy shaken. They want to see someone get caught, and they want to see the powerful have to deal with the consequences of their actions. But let's be honest, the hypocrisy is rampant on all sides. We are talking about a culture that glorifies the very things they criticize when they involve someone they don't like. We judge Lori Harvey for her dating history, while we give Jay-Z a pass for his admitted, long-term infidelity. It is a double standard that is as old as the industry itself. And yet we play into it every single time a new story drops. The Beehive is acting like Jay-Z is a saint who needs protection, when the truth is much more complicated. The irony of the situation is that while the public is busy tearing Lori apart, they are conveniently forgetting that Jay-Z is the one with the history. If the interaction at the brunch was, in fact, something more, it takes two people to make that happen. But the blame is almost exclusively placed on the woman, the outsider, the one who is supposedly trying to climb the ladder. It is a tale as old as time, and the audience is eating it up. As we look deeper into the potential fallout, we have to ask ourselves, who is really benefiting from this drama? Is it the fans who get to feel superior? Is it the blogs that get the clicks? Or is it the artists themselves, who use the controversy to stay relevant and keep their names in the headlines? It is likely a bit of all three. This is a business, and drama is the ultimate engine of commerce. If there were to be a formal investigation, or even a serious probe into the power dynamics of Roc Nation, the findings would likely be buried so deep they would never see the light of day. But the mere suggestion of it creates a sense of tension and anticipation that keeps the story alive. It makes the fans feel like they are part of a mystery, like they are uncovering a massive cover-up that the mainstream media is too afraid to touch. The pressure on these individuals is immense. Imagine waking up every single day knowing that your personal life is being dissected by millions of people who don't know you, don't care about the truth, and are only interested in tearing you down. It is a brutal existence, and it is no wonder that the reactions from these stars are often so defensive or so calculated. If we look at the way the industry is shifting, we might see more of these kinds of exposés in the future. With the rise of independent creators and the decline of traditional gatekeepers, the ability to control the narrative is slipping. People are speaking out, leaks are becoming more frequent, and the private lives of the famous are becoming increasingly public. This is a trend that is only going to continue as the lines between private and public continue to blur. We have to consider the possibility that Future's comments are just the tip of the iceberg. If he is willing to say this much, what else does he know? What other secrets are being kept under wraps by people who are tired of the silence? We are living in a time where the truth is becoming harder to hide, and the people who have spent their careers building walls are finding that those walls are starting to crumble. This is the reality of the modern era. We are obsessed with the downfall of the elite. We want to see them fall, we want to see them human, and we want to see them held accountable for the things they think they can hide. Whether or not these rumors about Jay-Z and Lori Harvey are true, they serve a purpose. They give the public a sense of agency, a sense that we are watching, and that we are not going to let them get away with anything. As we continue to analyze this situation, we need to be prepared for the fact that the story is likely not over. In fact, it is probably just getting started. The pieces are all in place for a much larger, more dramatic reveal that could change the way we view these celebrities forever. We are at a turning point, where the rumors are turning into something much more dangerous, and the people involved are finding that they can no longer just laugh it off or post a clever comment to make the problem go away. The stakes are higher than they have ever been. We are looking at a potential shift in the power structure of the entertainment industry, and it all starts with this one interaction that refuses to die. We are witnessing the beginning of a conversation that has been suppressed for years, and it is going to be incredibly interesting to see how it plays out in the coming months. We have to ask ourselves, is this the end of the line for Lori Harvey in these circles, or is she just getting started? And what about Jay-Z? Will he finally have to answer for the rumors that have haunted his marriage for years? Or will he continue to be the untouchable billionaire who can do no wrong? The answers to these questions are not just about gossip. They are about the nature of fame, power, and the way we choose to treat the people we put on pedestals. The story is far from over, and the next chapter is likely to be even more explosive than the last. We are watching the history of celebrity culture being written in real time, and it is as messy and fascinating as we could have ever imagined. Stay tuned, because the truth is out there, and it is only a matter of time before it all comes crashing down. We are going to continue this deep dive into the implications of these revelations, looking at the wider context of how this behavior impacts the industry at large, and why we, as an audience, are so addicted to the drama. The next section will break down the final, most shocking pieces of the puzzle that have been kept hidden behind the scenes of these massive, high-profile relationships. At the end of the day, we are left staring at a mountain of rumors, a trail of breadcrumbs left by a scorned ex, and the burning question of whether the most protected marriage in music was ever truly at risk. Whether you believe the narrative that Lori Harvey was making a power move, or you see it as nothing more than a manufactured scandal designed to keep the internet churning, one thing is clear. The public is never going to let this go. This entire saga has become a permanent fixture in the annals of celebrity gossip, a cautionary tale about how a single glance, a brief interaction, or a petty comment can spiral into an industry-wide narrative. We have seen how the Beehive protects its own, how the rap game plays its politics through dices, and how the media machine feeds off the perceived downfall of those who dare to step into the wrong lane. The most fascinating part of this story is not whether anything actually happened between Jay-Z and Lori. It is the fact that we, as the audience, are so ready to believe that it did. We are primed to see the drama, to look for the cracks in the facade, and to assume that behind every high-profile event, there is a secret, scandalous reality that is being kept from us. That is the power of this kind of storytelling. It taps into our collective desire to see the powerful humbled. When you look at the trajectory of this, it is easy to see why Future's alleged comments have caused such a stir. He is the ultimate wild card, the person who doesn't play by the rules and who isn't afraid to burn the house down on his way out. By hinting at a truth that no one else is willing to touch, he has guaranteed that the conversation will continue. He has breathed new life into an old story, and the public is already lining up to hear what he might say next. So, where do we go from here? Does this lead to a reconciliation, a massive blow-up, or just more of the same? With everyone involved continuing to play their parts in this carefully choreographed dance of fame, we are witnessing a cycle of constant, high-stakes maneuvering where no one is truly safe from the spotlight. The rules of engagement are shifting, and the era of the untouchable superstar might be coming to an end. We have explored the history, the rumors, the power plays, and the inevitable fallout that comes with living a life in the public eye. We have seen how a simple brunch encounter became a symbol of everything that is wrong and right with the industry. And we have seen how one person's bitterness can become the catalyst for a much wider, more chaotic conversation that consumes the internet. The truth is, we may never know what really went down at that brunch. And honestly, that is exactly how the industry wants it. The mystery is what keeps the interest alive. The speculation is what keeps the clicks rolling in. As long as there is an unanswered question, there is an audience ready to keep digging, keep watching, and keep pushing for the real truth. This is the nature of the beast we call celebrity culture. It is a world built on perceptions, not reality. It is a world where the story is more important than the facts, and where the goal is always to keep the momentum going, no matter the cost to the people involved. And if this story has taught us anything, it is that we are all complicit in this game. We are the ones who make it possible, the ones who provide the audience, and the ones who keep the wheels of this scandal turning. As we wrap up this look into the supposed secrets of the elite, I want to ask you, what do you think? Was this all a massive misunderstanding blown out of proportion by a bored public? Or was there something much deeper, something that was hidden from view by those who have the power to control the narrative? Do you think Future is onto something, or is he just trying to stay relevant by attacking his past? The comments section is open, and I want to hear your take on this. Are you Team Beehive, or do you think the industry is being unfairly protective? Do you believe the rumors, or are you taking it all with a grain of salt? Drop your thoughts, theories, and questions below. I read them all, and I want to know where you stand on this. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive into the messy, chaotic world of celebrity scandals. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications, because there is always more to come. We are constantly digging into the stories that the mainstream media won't touch, and we are going to keep peeling back the layers until we get to the truth. This is not the end of the conversation. There is always another story, another leak, another rumor that is waiting to be uncovered. And you can bet that we will be here, ready to break it all down for you, piece by agonizing piece. Thank you for tuning in to this special report. Stay vigilant, stay curious, and keep your eyes open, because in this industry, the truth is rarely as simple as it looks. We will be back soon with more, and you won't want to miss what we have in store. Until then, keep questioning, keep watching, and we will catch you in the next one. So, where do we go from here? Does this lead to a reconciliation, a massive blow-up, or just more of the same? With everyone involved continuing to play their parts in this carefully choreographed dance of fame, we are witnessing a cycle of constant, high-stakes maneuvering where no one is truly safe from the spotlight. The rules of engagement are shifting, and the era of the untouchable superstar might be coming to an end. We have explored the history, the rumors, the power plays, and the inevitable fallout that comes with living a life in the public eye. We have seen how a simple brunch encounter became a symbol of everything that is wrong and right with the industry. And we have seen how one person's bitterness can become the catalyst for a much wider, more chaotic conversation that consumes the internet. The truth is, we may never know what really went down at that brunch. And honestly, that is exactly how the industry wants it. The mystery is what keeps the interest alive. The speculation is what keeps the clicks rolling in. As long as there is an unanswered question, there is an audience ready to keep digging, keep watching, and keep pushing for the real truth. This is the nature of the beast we call celebrity culture. It is a world built on perceptions, not reality. It is a world where the story is more important than the facts, and where the goal is always to keep the momentum going, no matter the cost to the people involved. As we wrap up this look into the supposed secrets of the elite, I want to ask you, what do you think? Was this all a massive misunderstanding blown out of proportion by a bored public? Or was there something much deeper? Do you think Future is onto something? Or is he just trying to stay relevant? The comments section is open, and I want to hear your take on this. Are you Team Beehive, or do you think the industry is being unfairly protective? Do you believe the rumors, or are you taking it all with a grain of salt? Drop your thoughts, theories, and questions below. I read them all, and I want to know where you stand on this. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive into the messy, chaotic world of celebrity scandals. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications, because there is always more to come. We are constantly digging into the stories that the mainstream media won't touch, and we are going to keep peeling back the layers until we get to the truth. Stay tuned, stay vigilant, and we will catch you in the next one.